from a previous day. Grab the keys from off the counter, commute into the city, gonna take another hour. Man, I hate trading time for a way. At least I got a home and a job that pays. Faded from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. You're saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
Son certainly has done you good. You look like a child. Well, thank you very much, Arthur. I've been very lucky down here. Feeling better than I did up north.
Collars itching, face switching, another cup of joe and I'm fine. Come 5, I can burn a fresh dime, lifting up the burdens, putting weight on my mind. Bet if I didn't chase that and embrace distractions, master my lack of faith and break through. Faded from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. You're saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive. I'm holding out as I fight. I feel my colors wash away. I'm finding my ground in the light of the hours I can claim. 'Cause in time I restore my complexion and find that I left my distractions behind. In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Faded from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. You're saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. Don't just stop it. Doing what you do. When I lay back, holding on to you. Ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. Got my senses here on overload. All my body is for you to hold. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that you got me wanting. Never thought that never thought that never thought that that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream. Yeah. You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. I feel like I'm in another galaxy. Take my time in your eternity. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that you got me wanting. Never thought that ooh. Never thought that that I'd be saying
darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Take me back to you. Just shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Back to you.
it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know. If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact, she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none. Stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now. I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always felt the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night, my old life, they stay.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA.
couple thousand miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you it's silence. Thought I'd have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign. Yeah, had to remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb. Tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me down.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil, let him let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof. I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil, let him let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another beautiful evening of ESL Challenger League, Season 49 for the European region. I'm Mac. This is Michael, aka UM3TV. Is that what you want to be called today?
Not quite. I mean, Yumi is probably it just rolls off the tongue a little easier, doesn't it? So
it does.
Let's just pretend that 3's an E for today.
Okay, I'll try to remember that one. It will be hard. I have the memory of a goldfish. But look, let's talk shop. We are going to be covering Bait up against Zero Tenacity today, and this is going to be an interesting one. Bait, of course, one of the stronger teams around sort of the tier 2 area of the region. And Zero Tenacity, you were telling me they've had a bit of a rough patch recently.
Yeah, well, they definitely have, but, you know, we can focus in on Bait and Zero Tenacity on this mainstream. If people are interested, there's also Namiga Batera, also another solid game between two teams in sort of fluctuating states, but across both streams, I think you're right to note that sort of storyline. Bait, at the moment, looking very solid, while Zero Tenacity have been in flux. They've not looked the hottest. The drop-off of Nemanja after his... meteoric rise to, you know, significant impact, very active CT sides, and he's an in-game leader as well. You know, this is the type of player that people thought, oh, well, you know, he's doing it so late in his career, how can he not make a step up to tier 1? And you see the results from the group stage, Zero Tenacity actually being able to eke out into the second place out of their group in Group C, while Bait secured first position. But a lot of people coming into the group would have thought Spirit Academy should probably have been in that position, given how well they played towards the end of last year. But somehow Zero Tenacity were able to beat Spirit Academy in their head-to-head, and so they find themselves here. So even in their flux, they're still finding a decent level of success in the ESL Challenger League.
Yeah, they certainly are. And of course, you know, we are in Stage 2 now. Bait and Zero Tenacity going to be going up. The winner of this goes up against the winner of the other game down on the B stream. So it's an interesting one. Make sure you keep your eyes glued on both and see who you think is actually playing better at the moment. But yeah, Bait in particular, you know, they haven't had too many roster swaps as of late, and they've been together for a solid while. I've been, you know, everyone knows Headtrick. He's been around for a fair while, played at a relatively decent level for NIP, but then unfortunately that roster sort of went all over the place. You know, shout out to Brolin, doing good things, turning into an IGL, but Headtrick rolling back the years, coming and playing under Nipple and, you know, doing it for Ukraine.
Yeah, it's actually curious because, you know, when we talk about Headtrick and we talk about Nipple very often, you know, these are the guys that were kind of rejected from Tier 1 Counter-Strike to a certain degree. For them, They got an opportunity and then they find themselves back down into Tier 2. And, you know, there's actually been a lot of there has been a lot of roster changes for Bait, but it's been slowly over time that they've implemented these new pieces. The most recent addition is Kenzizor, who replaced Captain Kirk at the end of last year, and that has seemed to be a pretty slam dunk move. Kenzizor is one of the stats leaders for the squad. He's very frequently first, second into the pack. We actually have the Vito on screen as well. Nuke, Mirage, Inferno, which is quite solid. But
spicy.
Yeah, and I think the problem for Zero Tenacity right now is that their go-to maps, you know, they used to have Anubis in their back pocket. Ancient actually used to be a map that they were playing a fair amount, and actually would make some crazy rotations on a lot of people thought, like, wow, these guys play super gambly Counter-Strike. They like permaban it. Anubis has been fluctuating for them, even though they're one of the best CT side Anubis teams that we had in the Tier 2 space for a while. You know, their map pool has reached a level of instability that, to be honest, will give Bait a massive advantage in this veto stage, just because they've been the more successful team. Zero Tenacity don't know what is actually good for them at the moment.
Well, we'll see if Nuke's good for them, because that is where we're going to be starting the series, at least. You know, Zero Tenacity taking us there. I feel like I've definitely seen Bait play a good couple of games of Nuke now, and I remember it going relatively well for them. So, look, I'm going to reserve my judgment until we actually see what Zero Tenacity are able to bring in today. But then when we get to Mirage, you know that the sharper individuals on Mirage usually come out on top. So we'll see if Zero Tenacity is going to be able to stand tall against Bait. And then, look, Inferno as a decider, I'll take that. It should be an interesting one. With those long rotations, maybe a longer game on paper, but we'll see if we even get to 3. Nuke, though, going to be an interesting place to kick things off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Z10 are a team that are so good at actually being like hyperactive on CT sides. I think it's actually a style we're seeing fall out of favor, unfortunately. You know, think back to you know, the heights of the old heroic roster, the Danish version with Cadian and Stown and Yabi, and then you have Mao's kind of being the next to co-opt that aggressive CT side style where they're constantly fighting for territory. Z10 like to do that, but with fewer resources and are far more gambly in their approach. And the reason it's fallen out of favor is that it's just become far more like pack-based T-sides. And even though you get that extra information, you just get brute forced at the moment. That does seem to be the way that CS2 has shifted its balance. So kind of interested to see how this nuke goes, because Z10 will want to be active on that CT side when they get that opportunity. Of course, them picking into it, they start on the offense, and so Nipple will have a lot to do and lot to call on this CT side, and he's already got his head rocked. It's actually the double dually set up on A that's immediately come into full effect. And Alex is sweeping them up all under his rug. Essential coming in from heaven. A very fast pistol round for Bait. I was not expecting it to just immediately slam its foot to the gas.
What was that? 20 seconds and we are straight on into the second round. Another quick stat, other than the fact that might have been the fastest round of both of these teams' careers. Zero Tenacity have played Nuke 9 times this month already. They've been playing it a whole lot. Through the CCTs, PGLs, all that, and everything else that's been going on recently. But yeah, Bait, of course, did lose this last time they played up against Zero Tenacity in January, and that was an overtime affair. So it wasn't a plastering from Zero Tenacity. It was a nice close affair, and we should be expecting something similar here.
Yeah, I think when people look at this game, you know, and they think about Z10, they would think tier 1.5, maybe on the cusp, on the higher end of tier 2. At the moment, they find themselves on the bottom end of that. They're still beating a lot of teams underneath them, but when they encounter these greater contenders, they have struggled. And there will be no struggles here for Bait against the Glocks of Z10. Not a single casualty, triple kill for Alex. It started well for him, in fact. He's on 6 kills in 2 rounds, so back-to-back triple kills. He'll take it.
Take it for sure. And look, we'll see if they're going to be able to make this bonus round work. Not too much reinvestment coming in other than the utility and Zero Tenacity on the guns. So we'll see where they end up going. We'll see if they can get a few more kills on the board. Where are we looking here?
I mean, with double SMGs, Bait are going to have to try and close the distance and play in, you know, close hut, be aggressive lobby, maybe try and get themselves down to secret steps, you know, close that gap as much as possible, because Z10 should be able to out-firepower them, but they're not actually throwing outside smokes at the start. They've just smoked off the door entry, and Nirmana slides himself into the cutout outside. So it's looking like a topside burst is what is planned if Nirmana is allowed to have his way.
Yeah, we'll see if they get around to it. There is still a decent amount of util to continue blocking on the A site. But Zero Tenacity going to be walking into the 2-man setup on ramp now. Essential taking contact and looking to draw attention away from the boost. Nipple, has he had the attention drawn? He will. Okay, from the top, going to be able to find one and a nice trade, but it might not be enough. It ends up being a 3-for-2 affair. And Headtrick in the meanwhile going to be heard making his way back at hut, but will regress. Soundbait not a factor, as AVN is very much ready to go and take this A site.
Yeah, so well done. I mean, the immediate ramp explode into Nirmana actually flanking out towards Hell. He had a position where he can play it from an afterplant. He finds himself in heaven now. And for them, it felt like all the tensions were raised towards ramp. There was a gap towards outside. Yeah. After a very delayed outside set of smokes that Nirmana took full advantage of. So an immediate gap being exposed. But also, I think the vulnerability of still retaining those SMGs and not being in, you know, forward positions, not leaning back on fallback plans to the site because they wanted those SMGs to get something done, it actually kind of led them astray. Zero Tenacity had accounted for a lack of sight lines outside, maybe because they didn't expect the weaponry to be well displaced in that manner. So it's very well handled. 3 alive, 1 save as well via Alex, who finds himself still deathless, but now with the reinvestment into rifles for the majority of the Bait side, maybe they can put up a better fight towards that outer area.
We'll see if they end up going there again. Bait still with a good amount of economy to reinvest into the fourth. And still bolster that defense. A couple of smokes dropped to AVN. Looks like he's just going to go for the old triple wall. Diags. And allow Namana again to just work on this lurker outside. Oh, if he even needs to. Nice little smoke spam. Looks like the smoke got broken. And Nipple ends up getting popped. Oh, but not Alex. Tucked away at Africa. Swinging wide. Shadow not reacted to in time. And a beautiful trade out of 0.
Yeah, focused on the wrong angle. You know, focused in on that hairline. He was hoping that he'd find the timing. Kyofo's still trying to press the issue on outside. And even with that nade blowing up in the smoke for a moment, Headtrick does not consider the other side of his flank. He's smoked from the front, and he's shot from the back. A site under siege, and with Kenzie and Essential being out of position, they're out of luck. This is the second round dialed in for Zero Tenacity. This is, I find Z10 such a fascinating entity in the space, you know, similar to the likes of a Namiga, for example. So if people are interested, again, B-Stream does have that game on as well. But one thing that you'll notice that both these teams do is that they constantly play with timings. You don't know what information is actually the right information as to the intended target. You're constantly having to shift your feet. You're getting sound baited one area, and then you're getting shot from another. I've always watched these guys play and just thought, how on earth do they hit these timings all the time? And it's because someone is doing something to prompt it, to warrant the attention very often. It's very cute, but a little gimmicky. You know, if it's something your opponent is aware of, they will start to disregard these small pieces and just, you know, there'll be a lurker, and they'll just note the lurker and ignore them.
Yeah. Good adjustments to everything that they're throwing at him for sure. We'll see if Zero Tenacity can take the lead here. Should be a bit easier up against the Pistols. Very light investment from Bait. And we're going to see a full ramp stack. We got 3 players there. Zero Tenacity going for the longer range at outside. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet.
This could start pretty terribly, though. I mean, they're doing heavy outside smokes, and they're 4 players in position here. Nipple will even blow the smoke, but he's trying to draw attention away from what is a lower side attack. You see that those 2 players at secret steps.
Oh, about to take contact. Good flash from the CTs, but it doesn't matter. AVN poked his head in just in time. MP9 able to find the double, and the bomb's going to be able to make its way into secret. Namana navigating straight back into the round. Big kill onto Nipple, and now it's just 2 pistols remaining on Alex and Headtrick here. Quite separated over towards ladder base and ramp. But the separation from Zero Tenacity looked a little worrying. Namana, nice angle from the back of warehouse. And he is going to regroup with the troops. 3v1. Keep that distance close. Oh, and a missed opportunity for Headtrick.
How have they gone out of that? How have they actually gone out of that? I mean, Namana and Simka are both so low. That's why there's this level of caution from Z10. They know that a pistol could be their worst nightmare. And Namana is still lurking towards outer. So even with them resetting back lobby, even if Headrick gets a kill, it will be very difficult for him to capitalize on this round. They don't know.
They alert him. Oh, can't land the 1 bullet to make a clutch happen. Unfortunate there for Headtrick, but a nice attempt regardless. But it's good to see Zero Tenacity, you know, managing to steady the ship in what could have been a rocky situation at outside.
Yeah, super rocky. A good idea by Bait. You know, once they see that triple wall, they'd already started 2 secret from the start of the round. They realized they had good position for it, and all they did was just draw attention. It's actually just kind of a shame that I think AVN got caught by a flash just after he had seen a player at secret, because he managed to get his bullet off and steady his aim enough for that first kill. That was the M4 as well.
Sometimes it's just all down to those little timings, you know?
Yeah. All about for Headtrick, though, our Kadia player to watch. So we'll see how well he manages. He gets tagged and doesn't find his frag. Has to back away from ramp. So it could have certainly gone better for him at the start.
CS2, baby. One of those situations. Sometimes holding the line does not work out for you. Namana, in the meanwhile, going with that wall of smokes at outside again, will be able to make his way into secret. And he's actually got a pick down on the halls, which could adjust where Zero Tenacity opt to go this round. 3-man stack towards the top side as well means this could definitely be a lower hit if Zero Tenacity can get this information.
Yeah, I mean, they've killed 2 players down B. Nemanja has just single-handedly broken through this round. So, yeah, if he's able to reflank towards ramp, it's just going to create this extra layer of security and getting that bomb down. And nobody on bait should feel brave enough to traverse the vents. So that fast rotate is going to be immediately siphoned. There should just be a straight-up save call for bait. They've been out-positioned all simply because Nemanja got down secret for free.
Namana, the GOAT for the round. Looking like
As
he's
he is
ready
so
to
frequently
save that
for
op as
Z10.
well. Yeah. It's not super often that you see a lot of these tier 2 teams have incredibly successful proactive lurkers like that, but look, Nemanja, a couple of rounds now, doing big work to keep Zero Tenacity in the lead.
It is funny because, you know, it's very infrequently that we see a team of Z10's caliber, just, you know, a player as impactful as Nemanja from the in-game leader role as well. So it's, you know, there's multi-layers to it where he's like a lurker, he's an in-game leader, he kind of does it all for the team except for AWPing, really. You know, he's keep him away from an AWP.
That's been controversial in the past, you know, having the lurker as the caller. You need to have a good flow of information to make that work, right?
Yeah.
I guess the good thing for, you know, Zero Tenacity is they're all speaking... Wait, would they be speaking Serbian? Or would they all just be speaking English? Because they got a little mix there of a couple of Balkans, you know?
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like that's my strong suit. Knowing
We can ask chat.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be more aware.
Chat, let us know, all right?
But I mean,
what
these guys
language are we talking?
These guys have been playing together for a long time, though. Like, the core of this team has been engaged with one another. You know, they have not made roster moves. They've kind of refused to because they've built up something kind of interesting and quite quaint. It's just about refining it against the teams that are, you know, maybe going to have a bit of a skill gap over them or going to have a bit more of that higher level experience. You know, for all of the grinding that Z10 has done, they've played very few LAN matches, you know, especially when we think about those breakthrough LAN events where you're getting a good little mix of, again, all these other challenger or on the cusp contender teams. Z10 have actually not had as many opportunities to demonstrate their abilities in that type of arena as of yet.
Well, hopefully, you know, one day if they keep winning these, they'll get those VRS points and maybe get up the food chain. Who knows? We'll see if the VRS system gets the adjustment to allow teams like this to eventually make it to some of these lands, or we might start getting a few more T2 lands coming throughout the year. It's I mean, it's an interesting position at the moment, isn't it?
It's definitely difficult, but it's you know, for teams like Z10, like Bait, you know, they're not actually in the difficult position because they're high enough that they get a lot of these reps online. You just need to find success, and that's where the difficulty is for Z10, is that, you know, the row of instability for this squad has hit them at a time where the VRS ranking can be punishing to those teams that get those invites and then don't show results from it. And they will be in that cycle for from the start of this year probably until like the middle of it. And if they don't stabilize the ship, then they could fall out. You know, I think the problem that people have at the moment with VRS is breaking into those invites in the first place. But both these teams find themselves in decent position enough that it's not like they don't get these opportunities. They just have to run with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right, where, look, at least these two teams are in a position where they have some points, you know, and some teams just don't have those points, and it's taken a couple of orgs away from us, which is quite sad, but I'm sure, you know, nature will heal eventually, as is the way in esports. And, you know, once Valve, who have actively made a couple of adjustments already, maybe they'll make some more adjustments that will allow more orgs to, you know, send some eyes back on Counter-Strike.
Yeah, there's a route of opportunities, but yeah, there's, like you said, nature will heal at a certain point or another. But I think when we think about this game, the first 6 rounds we've seen so far, it's clear to see that Bait have some issues. They definitely have some gaps, some vulnerabilities on this nuke so far that are being exploited. Right now, it does seem like Z10 have a pretty good read on rotations. They're playing, again, this sort of lurky, slower style, one that grinds you down. And I think most people would have come into this game expecting Bait to be the favorites. But I think one of the things to consider is that Bait also do end up in 3-map series all the time. Like, their 2-1 finishes versus their 2-0, I think, is to a much higher ratio. You know, they frequently will lose their opponent's map pick, or if they don't, they win their own. It almost seems like they need that wake-up call, and I think there's a few... It's kind of actually expected from a team like Bait that would happen to them. You know, I think even, you know, for both you and I, we're both big fans of FlyQuest, for example. You know, teams of that nature can feel a little complacent at times. You know, like they'll get a great win and then they'll let their guard down for a second map. Once those teams are put on notice, though, they're very hard to beat when it comes to that decider. And even if Bait struggle here on Nuke, I am expecting them to bounce back further in this series. But it's not to say they've lost this Nuke just yet. There's still a chance. We've yet to see Headtrick get engaged. We put attention on him at the start of the series, and he has yet to find a kill. So let's hope, for our sakes, he finds some success.
Yeah, that's what I was going to focus on as well. We're a quarter of the way through regulation, and he's still 0-4, and usually one of the top performers for the roster. So we'll see if he gets activated eventually. It is, you know, super early for gamers. It's 8 p.m. You know, gamers usually start to activate around that sort of 10 p.m. area. So sure, you know, hang around 2 more hours and we'll see Headtrick start hitting shots.
Yes, lean into the degeneracy.
Come with us.
It fuels.
Join us. Right, what do we got going in halls again? Namana, they are very aware that he's been doing this, and he's going to have a friend this time.
They give up the ramp angle at a terrible timing, and Essential still found so much damage. Oh my goodness. Okay. 2 players chewed up, and he's only lost 3 HP for the Endeavor. Alex lost towards the lower side, though, so there is a gap where the bomb has to make its way down ramp, and it will succeed in doing so. Vent cut off entirely. Z10 do have a bomb plant into this 3v3.
3-man retake, looking like it's all from ramp. And they got 2 flashes, 1 HE to get back in here. Halls control fully in the hands of Zero Tenacity. And that plants as well, just tucked away behind default. So you want full control of Decon. Flash forward Bait, starting to retake the side. Doors open in a way that Brute's able to land a shot onto Essential. And things get a little bit awkward now for the CTs, just trying to find an angle, trying to find a way back in. Headtrick might have just found an opportunity, but it's only the kill. At least he's on the board, but it's another round in the bag for Zero Tenacity. Looking like 2 players should survive. Joffo, oh, no, he's not going to get away from that one.
Yeah, too low, and that bomb rate is a little too big. A little disjointed from Bait. You know, even with Essential getting those 2 kills in a ramp, they're able to permeate past it. Alex gets chewed up on lower. The rotate also gets siphoned. You know, it did feel as though in that 3v3, they actually, I mean, they maybe didn't have the best utility for that retake, but they certainly had the manpower. 2 players coming out the left side is fine with rifles, but then they peek right into that Orper's hairline angle, where Headtrick was kind of in position to peek that first if necessary. It did seem a little bit... that slight off timing actually did mess up their scaling back on that retake. Not playing with that maximum synergy that maybe we expect.
Speaking of synergy, Bait are going to need it to pull off an aggressive move like this, especially with a low buy, and it's just going to be Essential swinging on his own. The backup never came through. Headtrick just placed on the line for pre-lobby. And Essential is going to leave him all there on his own. Smoke behind him to try to bait them into the line, and it works like a charm. Brute Monster down, and a man advantage for Bait.
Yeah, Headtrick's still maintaining this position as well, and still willing to fight. Another kill. AVN, the next victim. It's Namanha that's won his fight towards Secret Steps. And that could provide some bailout here for Z10 after they lose control of lobby.
Oh, I thought he had a timing. But Alex, just on the right line.
Oh my God!
Sneaking in. That's so awkward. I dare say that was an AWP in the way, and Shoppo is not going to escape with his life. A bomb on the ground and another round for Bait.
Wait, they're double AWPing as well. Oh my goodness.
Is this intentional?
It seemed to be. I mean, I think he was staring at that AWP, or staring at the AK, thinking, do we want a double AWP? And it seemed to be the consensus, yes.
Well,
I mean, right now...
starts getting kills and Bait, you know, win a round.
Yeah, that is true, but all predicated off of that little bit of aggression that Kenzizor brought towards the hut. Suddenly they lost a bit of that space. Both Essential and Kenzizor, expect to see them at the front of the pack, T-sides and CT. Fast outside cross here for Zero Tenacity. Oh my goodness, they didn't lose as much health as they could have. I mean, a Molotov down, the spam as well. Simka's in the vent, and they had suspicions, maybe, but they did not plug that gap.
Ooh, okay. Entered back for 2. Head trick, only able to find 1 from the ramp side, and Kenzizor, after getting that pick on A, they have an inkling on where he should be, and if you have a quick stock take of the economy, you're looking at Bait now, and they need this AK into the next if they want to fashion any sort of buy. I'm sure Essential's going to be able to drop an AWP and then MP9s for the rest of the boys if they want utility. But that's a great round out of Zero Tenacity, hitting the accelerator just when they needed to. It looked like Bait were maybe going to bring it back, but the trade game from Zero Tenacity was just that much better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, it's outside. Once again, a massive problem for them, whether it's been Namanha lurking towards those secret steps or... players getting down the vent. This is another instance where outside seems to be the massive pressure point that Z10 have focused in on, because, you know, we think, I know it seems a little silly to reference the pistol round, but the only time we've really seen them attack that top side was in the pistol. Most of the time it's been secret, maybe they've mid-rounded to the top side that one time where they burst through, or they split from Heaven to hut after ramp pressure, but it's been very outside focused, and Bait need to plug that hole.
We did get an answer, by the way, quickly, while there's a lull. They do speak Serbian, according to one man in chat, and thank you for that information. It could be a lie, but I'm going to take it for gospel.
No one would do that. Spread misinformation. It's a nice opener there for Alex, just spamming away at that door smoke. Catches the bomb, funnily enough, at the back of lobby. Not something that Bait will be aware of. Kenzie forced off of the roof by the Molotov and actually almost aligns his spray with Simka. Does decent damage, still 5 HP alive, but once again it's Namanha being super productive on this outside lurk. So again, massive problems here for Bait in understanding where the intended target is. Simka lurking door, but finished off by Alex. It's Namanha outside. He lurks into main. They should have known that he was capable of making that move, but so many angles to cover. And now a plant in for Z10. This is another debatable save, but the thing is, you know, you've saved enough rounds, you've lost enough rounds. How does does nobody see Namanha? Does nobody think that he will get these kills?
He's one with the walls.
It's astounding.
If we're talking about impact, he has done so much this series so far, and if we get this kind of performance moving on to the next couple of maps and Bait aren't quite ready for it, there's a world where, even though Zero Tenacity are on paper lower in the group moving into this position, mate, they could take the W. They could cause a bit of an upset here.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. It's just... They have to call a timeout. Someone call a timeout. Because this is getting out of control. One man cannot find these timings so consistently. People have been complaining about T-sides on Nuke and the difficulty that it has in getting access to secret, or actually establishing outside control, because people blow open the smoke so frequently. It's like nade stacked. You know, people are aggressive towards red, and they can get there at solid timings. You can play atop the secret steps if they're going for late T-side util. and none of those problems are gracing Z10. Alex aggro move in the hut, but AVN doubles up. And this time Nemanja is found out. So 3v3, where that pesky Nemanja lurk isn't a factor.
Who knew? Putting more focus on outers on a decent round may have just won it for them, but there's still a couple of rungs on that ladder to climb. Zero Tenacity doing the right thing, just staying together, trying to figure out exactly how Bait are playing this, and they're going to be doing a almost completely opposite thing, sending a Senthiel on a big flank, a slow lurk, and this pick is going to go the way of Zero Tenacity. So no flank found, and the spacing looking much better now, with Zero Tenacity having the man advantage.
It's good recognition once Nemanja has dealt with, especially with the aggro moves by Bait. Just holding to see what their next step would be. Look at Head Trick going in, finding the bomb, able to back himself away as well, but his teammate needs to fly up that vent to provide some support. 30 seconds left, and they know that that bomb is inside of lobby. Head Trick, another kill. He's found 3 so far in the round, and switching to the USP will serve him well. A 4K for Head Trick, and only half of it done on that AWP.
You'll take that for sure. And if Zero Tenacity can get 8 on the T side, oh, that'd be nice. And there is going to be that extra bit of cash as well for Brute to drop across. So they'll still get a decent buy. And yeah, 8 T-side nuke. It sounds like that's good, but off the recent stats, I don't know. Were you looking at the map pool stats coming out of the back of Pro League?
Yeah.
And just how many maps were actually T-sided? I'm almost not surprised now. You know, all it took was me remembering that stat. Now I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is normal. But with Nemanja going down so early, I dare say this round gets that much harder for Zero Tenacity to get back in.
And they're starting to really fixate on this outside portion, as is, you know, well advised with the difficulties they've had. Still, even with Nemanja dead, they do have to be worried about a lower side attack still. Bomb has crossed over to those secret steps with AVN and Brute. Alex in position to try and address it. But they're losing numbers across the map here, Z10. Oh, good information gathering there for Alex. Catches them on the jump spot, so knows that there is some presence towards lower.
How's the timing around AVN? If he can get in behind enemy lines, doesn't clear the vent, doesn't get spotted though, and might be able to drop the bomb with 40 on the clock. Now we'll call for the reinforcements, spotting AVN, allowing the drop to come down. Good trade from Nipple. And things get very awkward for Joppo. Oh, man, South Africa, that's a long way away. 30 on the clock, he's heard making noise. Kensazor cuts him off at the pass, and Bait salvaged the half, 5-7.
I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. Keep rising from the bottom, cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time. Gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. ceiling now. Has none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Has none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems. You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. Don't just stop it. Doing what you do. When I lay back, holding on to you. Ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. Got my senses here on overload. All my body is for you to hold. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that you got me wanting. Never thought that never thought that never thought that that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream. Yeah. You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. I feel like I'm in another galaxy. Take my time in your eternity. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that you got me wanting. Never thought that never thought that never thought that that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream. Yeah. Feel like something. Feel like something. You feel like something. Feel like something. Feel like something. Feel like something. You feel like something. Feel like something.
Welcome back to ESL Challenger League Season 49. We are one half deep in this best of three series between Bait and Zero Tenacity. Nuke's gone pretty well so far for Zero Tenacity. It is their map pick, and 7 on the T side sets them up for success here in the second half.
Yeah, a very solid start, but it does seem as though after a bit of an issue getting into the second half, there will be once again a round reset. So time to talk about what happened. Zero Tenacity, yeah, starting off very hot. But with Bait making that minor resurgence, 5 is workable. You kind of noted that the map distribution in terms of T to CT rounds from ESL Pro League was a little bit more T-sided than I think most people expect. Even maps like Nuke, which have been so typically CT favored for such a long time. But I do find it kind of interesting talking about stuff like that because, you know, the specialized maps, the more tactical driven maps seem to have... I mean, they've fallen out of favor with some teams, and they've been really picked up by others. And teams that will pick Nuke very frequently will be starting on that T side so very often. And I think that is certainly one way that it skews the stats. It was one of the reasons Inferno became a T-sided map, I think, as well.
Yeah.
but we'll see whether Bait can actually demonstrate some capabilities here on this T side as well, because Zero Tenacity were running rings around them.
I love teams that are capable. More so because, you know, they're at this level of gameplay and they all bloody should be. But let's see what Bait have for us here on the T side. Good molly over towards default side. No flashes following up just yet. Will connect onto Simki's eyes, but it is AVN on site using the flames to his advantage. Good little bit of cover and just stopping the hut bust altogether. Beautifully done. Nice trade from Simki to find himself a triple overall. And an 8th round here for Zero Tenacity.
Yeah, an instant two-piece there from AVN as they tried to come out of hut. And you're absolutely right, made use of the Molotov to great effect, just covering his position. And then Simka, you know, kind of gets in AVN's way a little bit. You could see AVN was hesitant to shoot at that last tee because his teammate was also within a hair's length of him. But Simka with that triple does immediately put an end to that Bait pistol round. So both CT sides coming away with their respective pistols. Both times it has been a topside hit, and neither were successful. I have a big thing about Nuke and topside hits right now. It feels like the meta has shifted away from doing them at the start of rounds. I saw it a lot in ESL Pro League. A lot of upper busts ended up being a bust. So I'd like to see more teams exploit outside, run more ramp takes. You can go upper later. Just let's calm it down in the opening segments of rounds. Teams are very good at addressing that topside siege.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams definitely prep for it. You know, running in anti the whole time, expecting crazy early flashes and all that. But this time, not going to be happening from Bait. Slow approach. They do have a Deagle P250 in the mix just to try and increase their damage at range. And it ends up getting a Glock kill onto Kentazor anyway, and that might be the only kill for the round. He's got himself a MP9, bomb on the back, and is hoping he can maybe find someone coming down vent, but Simki knows better, and he'll just be perched above. If he can find space, maybe get a pick here on the B site. Then there's plant territory, but it's a flank coming through real damn quick, and the MP9 doesn't have enough bullets to deal with that.
Kentazor will be happy enough with that. Extra $600 in the pocket for an extra kill on that SMG. So, full belt of util available for him. Others will have to make a slight compromise, usually, you know, down to Galils, or it's AKs and only a couple of grenades. But they get all the pivotal pieces out for Nuke. You know, enough smokes. They've got only 3 flashes to work with, which can be a bit of a deficit for them. All about where that util gets placed. Immediate smoke towards outside that will keep players like Namanha busy, but instant Molotovs being thrown towards that top side. Beta just set up inside of lobby, waiting to see if Zero Tenacity reacted. It's Alex actually finds a kill, straight spam from the door.
Firepower gap. Just landing that extra bullet with the AK over the M4. And even with that A1S, the traces still not going to be seen. An AVN cost him his life. Alright, but how did Bait play with the man advantage is the big question here. You were saying that they were lacking on that utility, and we're seeing now exactly how they're going to use it. Just diags, molly to secret, and Nipple on the lurk with what looks like the lobby control. I guess it depends on what Nipple does here as to where they go.
Kind of a failed break on the smoke there from Namanha, but Nipple's loud about his run towards the secret steps, and Namanha's on the flank. Nipple was considering this for a moment, but now turns his attention down towards lower, and Namanha is right behind him. Perfect play on the in-game leader head-to-head. And it's Kyofo that recognizes a ramp push is inevitable. 38 seconds. Bait have been blocked by that incendiary, but they have to displace this player in at ramp, or somehow find a means to bypass him. They're going towards hell. This topside is weakened in its defense, but they have to go up the ladder right into the loving arms of the brute monster FAMAS, and that will be a free frag. They have nowhere to go. 15 seconds. They have to break. They molly themselves. There's no way. They've lost the round. Even if they molly that, they can't get up.
What? It's a save, I guess. Extra damage, and CT is looking for picks. After that, clock strikes 0. And they aren't going to be able to find one. I'm pretty sure Kentazor. No, he went down after time. Look at that. 550 in the bank.
Yeah.
Detrimental on the T side of Nuke for Bait. Oh, and Zero Tenacity, only 3 more rounds needed. This map's almost done.
That's... I don't understand what the plan is there. You know, first player goes up that ladder a little bit further away from the rest of the squad, and so they don't feel comfortable running up the ladder when a player is staring at it. Understandable. But when you molly your off heaven as your only route to the bomb site at 15 seconds, then you are ceding the round. You know that there's zero chance. It's a very desperate looking move there for Bait.
I thought they were going to run through it, and I thought that would have been like potentially the ultimate big brain move, right? Is molly heaven, run into it yourself, cop a bunch of damage, but maybe catch the CTs unaware that you were about to pull an unthinkable maneuver. But that didn't happen, of course. Bait knew better than running into the burning hot flames.
Their own molly, yeah.
Yeah. So good to see common senses in the lineup, but only 5 rounds so far. Maybe winning isn't part of the game plan here on Nuke. Maybe it's just a reverse sweep angle.
That last round started as a 5v4, and this one will be the same, but in Zero Tenacity's favor, it's just a dry swing from Alex that's found a secondary kill outside. Oh my god, how have they gone away with this?
Entering with 1, and Synth, you'll almost bring in this fully back. Nipple, 1v1 rather, and only 3 kills so far. Looking for his 4th, which he'll connect on. Beautiful shot onto Simki, and that is going to be another for Bait in a round where they should have never had any right winning.
Just how? How have they managed that when they're on Deagles, a couple of hero AKs, and that was kind of it. Like, they didn't have tons of util. They weren't, great flashes. They just took fights outside and traded better and hit better shots. That was a very raw round of Counter-Strike. Oh, good jiggle there from Nipple, recognizing some shenanigans afoot potentially towards outer, but Nemanja once again playing closer than you'd maybe expect. Alex again has spammed the door and found a kill. He can't keep getting away with it.
Getting 1 through that door smoke is, sometimes maybe just a little bit lucky, but getting multiple, it feels like Zero Tenacity are doing something wrong at that point, Maybe just don't stand behind the spam. Nemanja though, very aware of that position on Silo. Heard the jump up. The HE will take Headtrick all the way down to 8. But Headtrick takes another name.
Yeah, I think he got tagged by the scout as well.
Ah, okay, right.
Uh-oh.
Friendly fire in the mix, just to make things a bit more interesting.
Simco's position gets 1, guaranteed.
Okay. Oh, spots the first, drops for a second. The reposition gets him all 3. Beautiful mop up. Worst one falling. I don't know if it was intentional to fall off the roof like that, but it certainly worked out in favor of the CTs.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, 1's a guarantee. 3 is a masterpiece. That is absurd. He should never have gotten that much production. They were like a deer in headlights when that MP9 started flying at them. They didn't shoot back. They stood still, and Simca just caught them in that shock and awe.
Shout out to his tracking, though. Fallen, pulling up like a 90 degree, then like 90 degrees to the left at the same time. That's all right. Good job, Simca. You got my mark of approval for that one.
Craziness. In back-to-back rounds, they are hoping for a greater spark once again, this time on Tech 9s. They're waiting for a ramp bust, but look at who's with him. There is a firm read here. Kyofo taking that attention, and Nemanja is here as backup. This was right into from the start. Z10, a solid setup in at ramp, and once again, it's Nemanja that is able to farm and lap up kills. Bait have very limited money to buy back to try and get 6 rounds straight to threaten an overtime. This is looking like it might be done and dusted.
Yeah, look, this is looking like a team that has played 9 maps of Nuke in the last 2 weeks against a team that might have only played it like once in the last 2 weeks. So, understandable. But as mentioned, I'm sure Bait aren't going to be too shook by this one. Maybe they'll be disappointed with how one-sided it has been so far. there is a chance for a comeback. 6 rounds in a row needed with the terrible economy at the moment. That could change. And that's all I've got for bait. You know, Zero Tenacity looking like they are here to play for that next game. And they really want to, you know, turn the narrative, try and get some revenge against bait.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a struggle, in particular for Nipple. You know, both him and Nemanja are very often focal points on both the rosters for being in-game leaders and high frag output players as well. But Nipple has had his struggles. He's been exposed and found out by Nemanja a number of times. Not just individually, but on the calling side of things it seems to be as well.
Just seems to be one of those things where, you know, all that prep that you do certainly pays off. Just putting yourself in the right place, catching the tendencies and punishing them for being in the wrong position. Lovely smoke breaks. The second to follow up doesn't net another kill. But Brute is still here. Going to cut off the angle back towards the A site with Simka falling. That gets awkward. Nemanja falling as well. It gets a little more awkward. But Brute trying to hero his way back into the round here. Alex at door. Waiting for AVN to go for the rotation down. But AVN has been taking this fight through smoke so far each round. And even without smoke, Alex going to come out on top.
How has he managed that kill? I mean, AVN had the peeker's advantage there. He was certainly ready for that fight. Kyofo playing close to the double doors. If this is open behind him, the doors will actually open backwards on him. But they're actually not finishing towards the lower side. A lot of pressure being mounted, being built towards lower, and they're starting to ascend back up those vents. Brute still inside of Big Garage. So actually not in a position to contest an A-side assault, and with that smoke down towards main, they know it's the top side now, but it's far too late.
That smoke may have just completely won them the round. Nipple in the meanwhile gonna cut off the rotation and bait, just like that, buy themselves an extra round or two.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, it's, again, started off with an opening kill there for Z10. A nice break on the smoke, something that we didn't see Bait doing much on their CT side. We're seeing that level of synergy for Z10. They're trying to facilitate those outside duels, make it awkward for them to cross towards lower. But after they do all those breaking of smokes and the smoke starts to fade, Bait's able to get another kill as they transition to those secret steps. Just getting them into that 3v3 and getting that lower side position ultimately ends up winning them the round because Z10 are constantly playing catch up on the rotates.
Man, you're looking for another HE here. We'll find it. Good lineup, timing, and the shots. Everything aligning for Zero Tenacity. In the meanwhile, though, Kent is all going to be able to answer back with another. Early rotation towards that lower side, yeah.
Yeah, he's already down, and Kyofo's looking to join him as well, with that path lined up outside of radio, but they do have to still be concerned about the prospect of ramps as a possibility. So Avian's left to his own devices. First kill's easy. Second kill, far more than he should have gotten. And it's Hetrick that trades. Kyofo's still nearby enough. And with those breaking of the glass, Hetrick's found out. And they know where this last player is. 3-on-1.
Alright. Player to watch. And we'll see if it's for a reason. Needs to tap it. CT's respectful. Thinking it was a fake. And Hetrick's going to be trying to take this toe for toe. But there you go. Big swing, all three at the exact same time, able to trade it, knowing he was probably AWPing. And we're going to be seeing 13 hit the top of the scoreboard for Zero Tenacity, and that is going to be Nuke in the back pocket. One more map needed to win the series 2-0, and I don't know if that's going to be happening. I'm sure Bait are going to bounce back, because a few of the players started to warm up towards the end, and I think that's what we need to focus on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they ultimately ended up addressing that CT side problem that they were having, but maybe a little too late in the half. You know, it did feel as though they were a little lacking in terms of finding out those solutions, making these adaptations that were necessary, and Z10 were able to fully run with it. They came in hot with some good team play, some solid lurks. You know, once again, Nemanja does seem to be the best player on this team, and just in terms of this raw impact he provides. But yeah, it's like I was saying before, it's not unusual that they lose a map pick to their opponents. It does seem like they maybe always come in a little under-prepped and maybe don't realize that the opponent ahead of them is going to play a slightly different style than you're maybe anticipating on the map that they pick into the series. But yeah, there's signs of life in this Bait squad. They are still our favorites for a reason coming into this matchup, but Z10 are never to be underestimated on that front.
Yeah, and we just saw exactly why, right? Even though they are, you know, loving a bit of Nuke lately, their Mirage isn't their worst map, so there is hope. There is hope for them, especially if they're hitting their shots like we have just witnessed. Of course, the Kadir Gaming player to watch, Head Trick, we had a quick chat about him. And look, if he got some kills in those first 4, 5, 6 rounds, then maybe we'd be seeing a different result here. But yeah, he just took a little while to get started. Of course, 63 ADR, quite low for an AWPer, especially on a map like Nuke. We expect them to sort of, you know, dominate outside or do something over towards the ramp side of things.
Yeah.
But look, Mirage should feel more comfortable for him. And that, of course, is going to be coming up as the second map just after the break.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know. If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to ESL Challenger League, Season 49. We are one map deep against, between Bait and Zero Tenacity. Zero Tenacity, of course, taking their map pick very healthily. 13-5, 13-6, actually, over the top of Bait. And Mate, they looked like a completely different team. Bait coming in as the favorites and not showing up initially. But now when we move the conversation here to Mirage, I think it could be a fully different conversation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, funnily enough, ended up 13-7. So
I was getting there.
Yeah, you were building to it. But yes, absolutely. Zero Tenacity seemed like they came in better prepped. They looked like the better team in general from their CT side. They had better cohesion. Their rotates were on point. They had good reads. And on that T side, they were just genuinely running circles around Bait in a number of rounds. So hoping for a better start for Bait into the second map, their own pick, their most successful map that they've had in their pool so far in Mirage. There will be less of those gaps that can be exploited. This is a map that is far more, I guess, figured out in terms of everyone playing similar styles and similar rotate timings, that it actually becomes harder and harder for lurkers to find success on this map. I think even just if we look at the arc of the lurker in terms of being a highly impactful role in Counter-Strike, there was a period at the start of CSGO that had lurkers at the height of it, because it was constantly like, oh, we'll just hit sites and the lurker will find these gaps. After that, everyone plugged up all those gaps, and then we saw the downturn of lurkers. And so now it's become a far more niche scenario, especially when it comes to Mirage, given that it's been in the pool through many the different iterations we've had in the map pool. So I don't expect Namanha to be as successful, but I'm hoping for, more solid site hits and some good CT aggro pushes from both these squads, actually.
Yeah, I definitely think Mirage, it is one of the maps which does allow lurkers to shine, because there are just so many different routes where you can get to places, use smokes to deny vision, get yourself some extra information, and start to work on those flanks. You're thinking people moving through jungle, going for the bloody kitchen flanks, and going for that full B split, or even just coming in late. But it's been done so many times that, a team like Bait, who is very proficient on a map like Mirage, they've seen it all. They played it all. They played against it all. And they should be expecting it at this point. So, yeah, as you mentioned, I don't think they will get caught off by Namanha as much. If Namanha is even lurking this map, or if he realizes, maybe it'll just go better if we go for straight X's or go for splits with decent mid control. I guess we'll see once we get in here. Do you know which side Zero Tenacity going to be starting?
Given that Bait are the ones picking, I'd assume Z10 start on CT. But yeah, that's just based on what I would assume that they make their move on. There's philosophies on like Dust 2 or Mirage. Sometimes teams like starting on T side. And I think, given the way that Z10 were playing on the attack on Nuke, I actually wouldn't hate a T side start either. It's just most teams don't lean that way when it comes to opponents' map picks. They always go for the safe, quote unquote, the safer option.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. But the only thing I would like to see from Zero Tenacity is their T side on Nuke was so well structured. If we see a T side like that from them here on Mirage, and Mirage as a map and the game as a whole right now, it seems to be that little bit more T sided. So I wouldn't be against them actually starting on the T side here. I'm about to find out. Let's see. No, Bait on the T side. Yeah.
Always playing it safe, aren't we? So
there we go.
Well, an immediate sandwich start from the jump here from Kyofo? Yes. Okay. The radar numbers are actually inverted, so hope that maybe gets fixed as time moves on. But 3A start for 4-0 to the side assaults. They'd be in great positions for it.
Up and like Kyofo looking and yep. So again, up against him. Up your action. Kyofo doing great work to at least control the ramp area, and now that bomb's down in their sight. Easy round out of Zero Tenacity, taking another pistol.
It is crazy to see like the round finishes for Z10 when they meet the brunt of the aggression. They're just so quick to give up positions on other bomb sites. You know, when they saw that there was 3-4 players inside of middle, immediately just went to reinforce that A site. Even with all the mounting window pressure, they were not deterred. So, a nice pistol for them. Triple SMG in the second round as Bait go for full Glocks, given that they didn't get many of those kills they wanted, and they didn't get a bomb plant down.
Ooh.
Great nade.
Huge damage onto Kensazor. Second HE won't connect, unfortunately, for Zero Tenacity. We'll see if that D gets tossed across to someone else, but Kensazor is being pretty greedy. Everything just slowing down. Bait regrouping towards the top of mid and should be able to meet Nemanja in a moment, and he's going to be able to get through two of them.
Oh my god.
On 3 HP, Kensazor still finds impact. 2 picks so far. And things now may be a bit more awkward than expected for Zero Tenacity.
Rifle picked up for head trick as well. They just have to find some kind of a path of security for this bomb to make its way into the A bomb site. You can see head trick is starting to clear out that position, but Kyofo's in a nice little nook at the back of the site. Even with the SMG, he was caught off, but able to adjust back, and the lack of armor really coming back to bite head trick. He almost wrangled the spray before the aim punch.
Oh, info. Kens is also one leaving, expecting another. Again, 3 kills. Literally on for the ace on 3 points of health. One bullet will stop that plant from happening and stop the ace as well. But Nipple now, with 17 seconds, needs to take a fight here. But again, the aim punch, a huge factor, and it wins Zero Tenacity the round.
Yeah, AVN swinging off of short and providing that extra bit of support. Knew that there was no real safe plant for Nipple in that position. I mean, fantastic round from Kenzizor. I mean, I was right there with you and thinking, 3 HP, this man is being greedy, but he hit some lovely shots off it. Understandable why he held on to it, I suppose.
Sometimes, you know, extra pressure makes the diamonds, right? So, could have had one of those plays. Let's see where Zero Tenacity going to be going this time, though. Nothing special. Not really having to contest mid control just yet. Bait throwing the early pieces, a top mid smoke, window smoke. Not missing either. Great to see.
Yeah. Someone other than Kenzizor does have to get kills, though, in these rounds, so... See whether Bait can actually manage that now that they're on these AKs. This is a mid-control take. Not unusual to see Kenzizor at these top mid boxes. Very often the front of the pack when it comes to the mid plays. But with him being tagged to 50 HP, there's going to have to be initiative driven by other pieces. Maybe the one critique with the Kenzizor move into the Bait roster, given that he's the most recent addition coming in this year, is that Nipple, you know, used to be a very like entry fragger, space taker type player, and now has moved slightly lower on that priority list with Kenzizor. It's not like we're not getting that production, but we're losing out on that Nipple influence, and the kill list tally for Bait just continues to be a thorn in their side. They just get crunched on a timing through mid, through connector and short, and they find themselves in a 2-on-5 with 30 seconds left. Bomb out of their possession. This is a save. There was such a long lull in this round where it was just okay, Bait have mid control, Z10 are holding for aggression, and when it never came, they sorted out.
It's like, honestly, this feels like, you know, a couple of my Mirage games on Face It, where your team is so good at taking mid, but then they don't know where to go. That's all it kind of felt like. And Zero Tenacity just went for a well-coordinated pop back into mid. Bomb was there. Bomb happened to go down. And look, you love to see it if you're a Zero Tenacity fan. 3-0 now. And Bates none the wiser as to what they should be doing here. But they're going to force in, knowing that Alex and Nipple can't buy in the next anyway.
What's actually so hilarious is I legitimately had that thought in my own head as well. Like, wow,
you were just like, I shouldn't say this, but
I was just like, should I draw comparisons to my noob stack? I don't know.
Hey, don't count yourself out, mate. I've seen you in the KZ server. You're a professional.
Yeah, just cannot do mid control and transition to anything else. Bait are staying away from mid now and just going for a straight A siege. Kenzizor dealt with. They've still yet to get kills on anybody aside from Kenzizor, and they've been stuffed on A ramp. They're calling it quits. They're canceling from this initial idea.
Cancel the plan, make a new plan.
They had a limited amount of grenades, and they've used all of them. And they've now walked away.
All right, so the plan has to be contact with maybe a lurk, but Essential looking to potentially regroup with the boys. Brute Monster in a position that should be cleared. Nipple doesn't look in the corner, doesn't cross the T's or dot the I's, but Headtrick's there to at least find himself an upgrade. There is an M4 down for Essential if he comes back towards apartments, but he's just going to hold towards top mid. Try to retake this together, but Nemanja in a great position to isolate both these fights, both those angles. But the timing, okay, going to be a huge factor in this one. Oh, spotted.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Nemanja just better.
It seems to be a thread for a lot of them. All the CTs that survive remain with AKs. Brute should be moving in with an AWP. So, a very, very strengthened buy for Z10, given that Bait are struggling to find frags. Hedrick finally got past that rider's block for himself and establishing that trade on B. Yeah, things are not looking too hot here for Bait. They've come in slow to both these maps so far.
$30 bullets straight through the smoke into the wall. But Nemanja at least had a good amount of info. Little underarm smoke to break. Oh, and I love this maneuver that Bait are trying. Just boosting over that top mid smoke, trying to find a pick towards Con. I thought they were going to go for the window peek with it. But that never eventuated. And again, Bait, look, they have that mid control. But this is looking very similar to what we saw before here.
They're just so ready to pounce on a late mid take. The double con, one inside of ladder. So if a player tries to walk themselves up into that window or get themselves up short, they could very quickly spell doom and gloom for Bait. A resmoke to window, they very clearly set their intentions. They're going to try and split towards this B bomb site.
Okay. Up towards the top of the fence, but AVN very much ready. Great reactive utility. Smoke towards that short choke. And it will be able to break the crossfire, but the CT still standing, still delivering. And with a man advantage, they're happy on 20 seconds on the clock. Just a fallback double up on both sides. But with Simka falling, that makes things more awkward now. Okay, there is a chance for this bomb to get planted on the A site, but it's all how does Joffo plays this one. Wanted to go for the rotation to B, thinking the fake was going to get sold. Oh, lovely shot. And that has just saved the round for Bait.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as he gets that kill in con, they suddenly have an out. They were blocked. They wanted to go for a cat to mid B split, and as soon as they get smoked off on short, there's just no way in. And
yeah,
if Z10 are just able to contain them, Bait would just have to sit in middle and maybe even try and burst through that short smoke or something. But if Essential did not come up with those kills, there was no plan B. So fantastic work for him. Even with Nipple running some interference, getting his hands on that AWP, they have security and a stronger buy in the following. But that round was in the palm of Z10's hands. And yet somehow it's been snatched right out of it. I think Avian even got spammed by his teammate when he block smoked on short. He won that first fight with player jumping on top of the fence inside a middle, and then he got dinked from connector, and I'm certain it was only his teammates there. I thought that could have borne some influence. Yeah.
It was just one of those things where, you know, the clock goes low, there's frantic comms, everyone trying to figure out exactly where the bomb is, where bait are actually going, and you just can't gather the information in time. But when you do, you just don't hit those shots. Who was it? I think it was a Brute Monster over towards CT. There was one of them just got domed. It was Joffe. Yeah, he really tried to lock that down, but unfortunately, Pika's advantage is a hell of a thing sometimes, and Bait will get that first round on the board, which was kind of necessary. Zero Tenacity felt like they were running away with this game, but the narrative started to change.
Yeah, just constantly getting these double entries or double picks. They're reading the game quite well, and they are certainly fragging hard.
Okay, change up in the approach from Bait. Kensizor at the tap. Just getting flashed onto the line. Simki. Jump peeking to eventually try and find Nipple, who I believe has been seen now. Smoke missed the mark. Unless Simki's done that on purpose just to extinguish the molly, which came through. Either way, great timing on the block there at Pal. AVN just trying to figure out where he wants to position himself. After losing Joffo over towards CT, you need to either fight for some control here on one of the two approaches in towards A, and full focus goes towards A main. 3 T's around the corner, opting to go for the contact here instead. And the trade game should be good, but the lineup, a potential, and it ain't going to happen. Kenzie, way too sharp on the trade, and with a smoke there just to try and get them towards the site. It could be the AWPer to make this one a little easier for Zero Tenacity. Molly looking to force Brute Monster back. He tries to go through it, but head trick, arms open, at the ready. Happy to take a second for Bait.
Yeah, Brute was really hoping they would not pay attention to that Molly. He might be able to creep through, but Z10 playing around the util, it is read into there by Bait. Some really nice shooting between head trick and Kenzizor. Kenzizor continues to find these multi-kills, but he's getting some small contributions from the rest of the squad now. Had a good bailout round from Essential to get them their first. And Nipple able to contribute along the path as well. Z10, their money is broken though. They're down onto USP, so a nice chance to claw back some of this lead that Z10 find themselves with at the start of this map. A chance to build some extra confidence as well as they take these rounds in stride. Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Nipple almost got caught. They dropped on him. They tried to run him down. And he somehow managed a triple kill after getting completely blindsided at the start of the duels.
Look, you'll take that. He's had a rough game over on Nuke, and he needs to start to get a couple of these eco frags just to at least get the confidence back in the back pocket. Because if you want to be making a reverse sweep happen, not only do you have to do it here on Nuke, but on Mirage rather, but then you have to do it again on Inferno, and Zero Tenacity are already feeling themselves, so we'll see if the confidence is going to be instilled back in Bait. Now they've found 3 in a row. If they can get into the lead on the T side, they should be right as rain to have themselves a solid half hit. Okay. Flashes out. Shoffo from that smoke towards under balcony, just looking to draw attention away from his place here on default. Good trade from Essential. Making his way around default, but spotting the drop over towards Sandwich costs AVN his life. Thought he was sneaky for a moment, but we're down to a 3v3. Brute Monster going to be able to answer back with the AWP in a moment. And we're down to the 2v2 now. Okay, Essential missed chance, missed opportunity to punish the AWPer, and Brute Monster in a 1v2 again. Everyone, all those rotations back in. Not going to be enough. Lovely shot over the top of triple onto Alex. And knows where Essential's coming from. Molly going to be disrespected again, and it's the same result. Essential putting another round on the board for Bait.
Oh my goodness. On these chaotic rounds, Essential is coming up with some massive kills. It's another 3-piece from him, and you know, Z10 tried to get ahead of all those smokes. They, almost like a Spirit when they first broke out last year, trying to just run past the execute. That was very much their style. Z10 just try and flood back into that bomb site before Bait are ready, and it ends up just in this massive trade war. Even with Kyofo finding those 2 opening kills, you saw that Z10 did not feel like they had good position, and constantly tried to clamber back into the site. So it is well managed in the end by Essential, but it does come damn close. Oh my goodness. The nades are huge for Bait on the mid control.
On short? Double nade?
Yeah.
Huge.
First one caught him on the fullback, second one just followed them.
Yeah, look. Sometimes it's just a little bit unlucky, isn't it? And that's going to be Bait getting 5 rounds back-to-back, and now they're in the lead. Zero Tenacity starting to struggle. Just unable to go toe-to-toe with what Bait are bringing to the table.
Let's see if they can get another round to throw more backs.
Yeah. Go to 6, 7, 8, even a possibility. Insane to think that, though, of course. Brute Monster going to be able to make the short jump here nice and early, and has a nice offline. Kensizor not quite ready and couldn't quite see. Hands across the eyes. Brute with the info. Spotted that swing. Peichi chunks him down to 52, and the molly going to chip him down even further. Aggressive positioning from Simki is going to be punished, but Brute Monster there to make the trade game look that much better and put a 5th on the board for Zero Tenacity, unless Alex has something to say about it. 1v4. What's his chances here, Michael?
Yeah, extremely low. I mean, bomb is dropped on B.
1%.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, a minute left, probably a 0.25. Every second he loses another 0.5%. Okay, that's not too bad, but I mean, they'd have to play it so wrong, and I don't think that the way that Z10 have been playing this CT side, that's going to be a vulnerability. Brute's already holding the line with the AWP. This could be a simple 3rd kill here for Brute on it, but Alex, a lovely swing. A 2nd kill, but Nemanya's inside of the apartments, and he's ready to take that duel on a timing. He's got himself in a great position. He'll catch Alex's back. I maybe should have given Alex a little bit more respect in the 1 versus 4, but the result is the same. It is a 5th round, and finally a break for Z10 after that 5 straight for Bait.
Yeah, I think they needed that, you know, just to let themselves know, all right, guys, we're still in the game. You know, we needed the Bait to stop running away with this half. And if we can go 7-5 again, and if Zero Tenacity bringing the same sort of game plan onto the T side here on Mirage than what we saw on Nuke, you know, there is a world. There is still a world where a 2-0 is possible, but Bait are looking to make it as difficult as possible. Again, because these rounds have been getting incredibly close, you can see that's having a bit of an influence here. This could be one of those swing rounds. You can already see the effect on the utility. I know a lot of smokes were thrown. One missed. This window one just hit.
Yeah, I think they might have blocked it, actually. He seemed very confident in playing forward after that smoke, so must have done something to disrupt it. And he is finally dealt with. Hedrick went for a very aggressive starting line as well on that AWP, but he now sits inside of the B apartments with the bomb, and he's unguarded. He's unaccompanied.
Oh, lovely timing there on the crab walk out at short. Only going to go 1 for 1, but Shoffo is there to trade. In the meantime, Simka ready to spot Hedrick making his way out of apps, and that's going to be the bomb spotted. So swift rotations follow. And Zero Tenacity just holding the short control, cutting the site in half. And Alex really knew he had to take one of those fights to try to turn the round back in Bait's favor. But unfortunately for him, he didn't get that bomb plant down. He didn't take the opportunity that he was presented. And now it's looking like Zero Tenacity are in a very solid position to put 7 on the board.
And it's so apparent as well. I mean, you see what Z10 do. They lose Namana in mid, and then they set themselves up for a 3-man mid crunch. You know, as soon as they recognize Bait are inside of middle, they're not scared for very long in terms of where they expect the sites to be taken. They want to combat them inside of middle after that minor lull once the smokes are gone. And Bait have been caught off by it a number of times already. These are just so willing to fight, so willing to do it together as well. Even if they catch themselves out of position, they're frequently coming ahead on those trades. I've loved the variety of positions for Brute, but an absolutely devastating shot by Kenzie on the Deagle. He's been sharp with that weapon. But they're going to need more than that. AVN spotted on side of the site, but they have a player inside of Palace who can maybe cut him down. Instead, it's Kyofo that comes away with a double.
Ooh, flash forward. Molly just to buy a space and allow him some time to regroup with Nemanja over towards jungle. Bomb gets planted. Financially, doesn't matter. Last round of the half, but they want to try and take this, even with a combined health pool of less than 100. We got Kenzie, and he's been doing work regardless of his health. Okay, Tech9 going forward. Nipple going to start to soften him up, but he's got to finish the job. And it's Joffo that's low. Simka ready for the swing. Big damage. And that defuse is being wrangled through. 7 secured. And it's going to be 7-5 at the half.
I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm letting loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal. I never lose, I'm bulletproof.
Ain't no party like a Mirage party, especially without OT. So we'll see if we get there. I'm calling it early. I think we're going to OT. I'm a Zero Tenacity believer, Yumi.
Okay. But you think they're going to fumble the 7-5 lead into an overtime, so I don't know what to believe. It's a straight attack onto the B-bomb site here for Z10. They find themselves out on the site, and there's only one player they actually have to dismount, and it's Essential, shot in the back of the head. So no matter punching in those digits, they've got good damage onto nipple all the same as well, and there are no kits, no util available here for Bait on the man deficit retake.
Oh, but there is a man with low HP able to get the information and allow the boys to make their way out of market. Couple of trades starting to come through, but it's all favoring Zero Tenacity. Head trick making his way up short, but usually he's sharp on the pistols. But today ain't usual. That's going to be Zero Tenacity taking both pistols this map, and that was a little bit worrying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a great pack play there from Z10. They hit a site. Yeah. It turns out to be the weakened site. They just flood the one anchor they have to deal with in Essential, and all the rotates from Bait are just siphoned. I mean, there's a smoke down short. The players from Market actually cannot get the ground because they were too far on the rotate. So, yeah, very well maintained there from Z10. Even swinging together once they identified players were coming out those Market doors. So you see the snap force buy here from Bait as a result of losing that secondary pistol. It's a decent buy. A couple of MP9s, some pistols, some grenades to block as well, buy some more time.
Yeah.
They're trying to be aggressive inside of the B apartments, but Z10 are kind of conscious of this idea, especially with that deep smoke.
Okay, very ready. Swinging off the contact, and Bait get deleted. Okay, Head Trick going to be able to come in with the Deagle, at least answer back with one, but he gives up all control on the B site. Maybe they're happy just to go for the save instead, knowing that they'll have something to play with into the next round rather than nothing, and that can be pretty good. We'll see how Zero Tenacity deal with this in the post plant. They're probably just going to worry about themselves, keep their rifles alive, not potentially throw an extra primary across to the CTs to carry across into the next.
Yeah, I'm going to give another swing of it with these 3 weapons, the armor that comes with it. But calling it quits out of the round. Like you were saying, as soon as Head Trick got that kill and gave up the rest of the space on B, there was kind of no way in. So, good positions there being held by Z10. They started inside of the B apartments. They saw that deep smoke. They recognized the possibility and just stuck shoulder to shoulder so that they could trade off one another. And they manage it well.
Ooh,
wonder if
okay.
Z10 are going to be as heavy on the mid-control as Bait were throughout that entire half, because it really didn't serve Bait any favors to keep going for these mid-takes. It was actually when they set up for site hits, they found a little bit more success, even though it still came down to 1-2 players alive. It felt like they got more conscious ground. They were able to control the duels a little bit better than these mid-crunches where they were getting caught on timings and they were getting caught off guard by the re-aggression.
And they're just hanging around for too long sometimes, like not doing anything with it. It felt a bit odd. But yeah, much better when they decided to go to the extremities. And Zero Tenacity, they're going to mix it up. Bomb towards the back of Apps, 3 making their way to mid early, but it's looking like it will be walking into the stacked site that they're going to choose here. Good HE placement, almost able to get themselves a freebie. But the CT, who's at Essential, going to be able to at least move away. Molly towards the car makes things a bit more awkward for Bait to try to deal with, but the trades were going their way. Zero Tenacity find a couple of their own, and it's a slow lurk up short for Stoffer. We'll see if he's going to be able to maybe make this work. Okay. Shot on the Alex. He was drawn deeper on short, and with Kyofo at least finding those entries just like that. Bait, who thought they had a read, thought they had a shot in the round, get completely turned around.
This is exactly what I was talking about. You know, it's just minor bits of sound bait. You know, they lose out on initial trades over on that B bomb site. They run back away from B, drop audibly into the underpass, and Kyofo's already up short, ready to greet that first player. They're so good at providing that information to enemies and knowing exactly how the reaction is going to pan out. and Bait once again just get ran around. And this time it's, you know, I don't like often placing blame on one player in particular, but when Bait get those 2 kills and Kenzizor wide swings out from his Nuke inside of that B bomb site, it actually kind of uproots the B stack. They had great positions. All they had to do was wait for Z10 to actually start coming out of those apartments, and they had multiple crossfires set up. As soon as Kenzizor swung like that, it reduced the effectiveness of the setup, and they went from a 4-on-3 to 3-on-3 where, yeah, Z10 once again found this way to put the cards back into their favor. But you can see that Bait are kind of desperate to find these rounds, and maybe even heavy importance being placed on Kenzizor, given he's been the one that's fragged consistently in this map so far. Good counter util here by Bait, given a little bit of pressure applied by Z10, but it has expended 2 smokes. So Z10 are going to be pushed away from this B-bomb side. Didn't like that Bait were so quick on that counter action and that a rotate could have come through, but they've stayed pretty stoic here on the defense. Still a 2-1-2 setup.
Ooh, nipple ready. But sometimes holding angles in this game doesn't favor you. ABN good on the clearance. Expecting it to be that right side of window. Alex at range. Almost had the advantage there with the A1S, but he is going to be swiftly traded as Kyofo comes through. Head trick looking to do work over from CT. We'll be able to connect eventually. Starting to make things a little bit more awkward. Bomb going to get planted on that front side of triple. Kyofo in the meanwhile dealing with the aggression up from Con. And post-plant positioning from Zero Tenacity looks damn good. It's all about where Kyofo wants to sort of pivot around here to allow Simki to move, and he's not even going to need to. Bait looking like they are just going to call it. Double back towards CT and look to save the AWP and M4 into the next round. Otherwise, Zero Tenacity could swiftly make their way to 12 to match point, and it will be match point because there's only 2 maps played so far, and Zero Tenacity are looking damn good at taking them both.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate call to save, but very logical. No kits, no smoke, especially when it's a triple plant. You want a smoke or a Molotov or something that can help you cross that gap and provide you some cover, some safety against these great post plants that Z10 had, especially because they still maintain connector control. They could have been inside of jungle. There's just too many. Get to hold onto those 2 weapons, but Z10, like you said, are just so close to the finish line. When we were talking about them as being a team kind of in flux, Bait were definitely looking like the stronger roster, especially coming out of the group stage. But Z10 from that second position, when they get a second swing at Bait, seeming to run with those punches and grasp that opportunity with both hands. They lost to them in the regular group stage. Faced off against each other in the 3rd round. But Z10 have been the much stronger side.
Good timing on the smoke to split up those Ts. Unable to use that first window, but it puts them right west if they don't save. So they're going to be looking for a pick to see what they can find.
If they play slow and hope that Z10 gives them an opportunity, they will not have a leg to stand on. They are playing all close together inside of the site. No one's overstepping. No one pushing extra for info. Cedric actually finds Nemanja on an advanced hunt. But Bait are saving. They are going to have to try and fight 7 rounds straight on the CT side, which is a hard argument to make when they've yet to register 1 round so far in the defense. It's 5 rounds in a row here for Z10. Coming out of that second half. It's... What, they started at... Bait got that 5 rounds straight. Z10 were at 4. So, this is... I think that must be their 8th round straight. From the first half into the second. Bait have firmly lost control of this game.
Yeah. It's getting there. I don't think that Bait have what it takes to bring it back. It feels like there's something in the air today, and it is not the smell of victory. At least not for Bait. Zero Tenacity, you said that they've been working incredibly hard to get to this point, and they have done everything they've needed and even more. Because this is looking more convincing on Mirage than on Nuke, and we already, sung their praises.
Can we put Hetrick as our player to watch? Maybe expecting a Bait success. And it's been kind of everybody but Hetrick that has been more impactful. He does get a solid kill this round with that saved AWP, retained over 2 rounds. But even in this 3-on-5, I'm not willing to count Z10 out.
AVN boosted into that position. Can activate at any moment for a lurk, but as I say that, Kensazor finds him, getting aggressive on the short side, head trick, hitting another for the round, and just like that, it's a 1v5 angle. And Simka, you look at the money, maybe it's just best to save. You've got that full belt of util, 30 seconds. And the CTs, it doesn't look like they're going to be looking for him. They should be happy as well with keeping 5 alive, given the financial situation.
Yeah.
But just when we were thinking, Zero Tenacity, they have this in the bag, maybe things get a bit more complicated here.
Yeah, no, it's looking really good at the moment. And they're just going to have to take it as it is.
Oh. They heard him grab the AWP. Realized what was going on. But no free kill. Into the kitchen. Through the old window. With that AWP picked up. That will soften the blow of what's gone down to the economy. 2 Galils in the mix just to get the extra util, but with Brute able to have that AWP in hand, maybe that can be the piece that they're looking for to find 13.
It should definitely be something that they think about, though, here on the side of Bait. They'll know that AWP was picked up. Why else would he have dropped a weapon inside of those apartments? So
yeah.
Goes for an opening line over towards B. It will not be an opportunity capitalized upon, since he'll just jump peeking and not punished for it. So again, splitting up in pairs are Z10 on just their basic map control. They're playing a more aggressive default than some teams would opt for, but doing enough to keep the B players guessing at the very least. I find in general on this map, you want to apply pressure on B. The A players, they're going to be a nuisance regardless, so you don't actually have to be that aggressive against them.
Yeah.
In fact, they can feel pressured to push. Alex does find the angle onto Simka. It's an off angle for him, but Alex seemed to be quite aware of that possibility. So
maybe
very nice clear.
Something he's seen before from Zero Tenacity, who knows? But either way, lovely clearance. And we'll soften the split that Zero Tenacity might have been looking for. It is just going to be all 4 towards mid. Timing for a pop-up short. Smoke towards the top of con, and window goes well. There's only going to be a one-pronged approach up short, though. Nemanja taking a while to make his way into apps. Big flash towards back to draw attention towards him. Koffo going to be able to find 1, but it's 3 for Bait so far, and it's all up to Nemanja, who is aware... Oh, I thought he was aware of Essential's position. There you have it. 7 on the board. Bait with 4 alive. AWP retrieved. 2 AKs in hand. Almost everything that they would love to see to try and make this comeback a reality.
Yeah, for some reason or another, they seem to really believe that Bait would have that extra man, maybe rotated towards A, or maybe because Simka had been found on the extremity. But they didn't have a Molotov for Van, and even with Essential giving away his position, like you said, Nemanja just seemed to disregard it, even in the 1vx. It blew up in their face. Bait were firmly in position. They had 3 on B. And now it's Glocks and the 1 Deagle here for AVN. Last time we saw this buy, it was Bait that ran it, and Kenzazor found 3 kills. Not sure it'll be as successful. It's just a complete waterfall out of the Palace position, and they will get no kills for their efforts. So, slowly but surely, Bait are closing that gap, but there is still no margin, no room for error as they look to force this into the OT.
Are you a believer yet? I was just thinking whether I am. I'm still leaning towards Zero Tenacity taking it, but well, I guess I guess coming back from the half, I did call OT. I just didn't expect it to happen in this fashion.
Z10 are so reliant on mid-rounding and finding gaps and taking risks that, to be honest, I'm not quite a believer yet. That type of style is always hard to put away. But I think that's why you can see Bait are being very proactive. We saw Alex push into Palace in one round. Now we see Nipple through the underpass, has cleared out the entirety of B, so they can feel a little safer knowing that B extremity is covered, but window is now being traversed by Z10.
Ooh, well cleared by Senthiel. Might have heard the jump up. 4 players over towards the A site. Fast flank from Nipple as well. Zero Tenacity taking a while to get out here. It's just Simka on 4 points of health with 3 to get past. 1 flash to play it. HE dodged. First hurdle dealt with, but he'll trip on the second. And that's going to be 9 on the board. Bait with 3 alive. Still 2 AKs carried across. AWP in hand. Money out the wazoo. Look at Kensazor. Even after buying 8K left. They're getting everything that they need and more to make this happen.
What's actually so good about that round for Bait is that they get all that information and it's never spotted. It's never identified what happened that allowed Bait to be very prepared for that A-side assault, nor even the recognition that there was a possibility of them boosting window. The fact that Nipple gets all the way through B, through underpass, goes unspotted, unheard, and never reveals himself, doesn't even flank towards ramp. The fact that they could hold it from the front does mean that, from Z10's point of view, Bait just had a strong read, or they just played defensive setups against this aggro play. And so they could actually fold themselves into like a very standard slow default as a result of this, just because, they'll maybe expect that Bait are going for sort of gambly starts against them, and that actually is further from the case.
Let's see who's gambling on what here. And it looks like Bait will be gambling on a potential B pump. Going 3 here early. Deep molly to try and allow head trick to get the early info. Missed shot though, and it is going to be the lurkout A ramp in the meanwhile. Simka. Okay. Not seen. 2 players here. Make it 3. Oh, and there is going to be a cross to sight. Bomb gets planted. Crucial money gained for the next round, but the deagle shot's a little bit more important. And Kyofo, unfortunately, missing a lot of them. Big flank coming through. Brute Monster needs to activate right now. It ain't going to happen like this. There's no way it's going to happen like this, but it looks like it might just. Okay, bomb not going to be planted for the 2 remaining T. Smoke goes down. What's on the cross here? Oh, it's a lovely shot. Nemanja lands that all the way from Cat. That is ridiculous. And just like that, Zero Tenacity on a round where they had no right of taking have done it. 2-0 over Bait.
They were on like a half by Galils and pistols, all sorts. They were just going for a complete pump fake, and Bait bit down. They had 1 solitary A-man, and Z10 pulled through. Listen, this is... that's why I found it hard to believe that Bait could come back. Z10 just pull out these crazy rounds out of the hat, and this comes down to of some great shooting, but also a ballsy call, a bit of an ambitious one, but it works out. Sometimes the challenge or bravery will often reward the bold. So a fantastic series from Z10 from start to finish. They were looking like the more comprehensive team. Bait came in a little slow to both maps and really struggled to get that engine roaring.
I can't believe that. That's insane. Like, if you're talking cinema, that was cinema. The 2-tap with the Galil at that range as well, with, you factor in the little bit of inaccuracy on that weapon too. Could have gone either way. But Nemanja, if he's not getting paid the big bucks, start paying him the big bucks now, because this is a name I feel like, if he keeps up this performance consistently, I don't know if he's going to be on this team much longer. I feel like he might be getting some offers, right? Frag and IGLs that are able to have that kind of impact are few and far between.
The thing is, he has been this guy for Z10 for a long time now. I mean, for the past year and a half, maybe 18 months is probably where I'd put it. And it's still not happened yet. Whether or not those offers have been there, I don't know. But he has stuck by the boys as far as he's concerned. These are a team that he's, the last piece that was added, I think, was AVN. That was 2.5 years ago. Oof. And the rest of the core has been there for like 3+. So
Mate.
he seems to like the project. He likes the atmosphere, and he enjoys winning with these guys, even if he is the one that's often leading from the top.
Mate, Balkan pride, I guess. But look, I know a team that just fired their IGL that is looking for a real IGL that can, you know, maybe speak a bit of English, and we'll see if the money can do that. Might make send a couple of messages, you know, lift up Australia as much as, you know, the Balkan area. Probably just going to be proud about that one today. But that being said, our Kadia Gaming player to watch was Head Trick, and it was unfortunate that we picked him. We didn't expect this result to happen. And look, he ended up going positive. He did start to bring it back in that first game and then in that second game. But unfortunately, he is one of the stars of the team that just didn't get activated like he kind of needed to. And unfortunately, in the 1v2 at the end, he also was put right in the spotlight and couldn't get over towards default.
I mean, it wasn't just him as well, though. I mean, NPL or Nipple really struggled getting engaged the whole series long. Had a pretty terrible nuke and really didn't get his form back together for Mirage either, which is their bread and butter map. You know, if it wasn't going to be on Mirage, then it wasn't going to be in the series at all. So, yeah, I mean, a real struggle today individually, I think, here for Bait, but you saw how it affected their rotation. Some of their decision-making really felt like panicked, or there was like this urgency that almost was forced by individuals because they recognized they weren't shooting as hard as Z10 in this particular series. So, yeah, some questionable decisions, but that all comes down to the pressure of understanding that game was slipping away from them if it was ever in their possession from the start. So, yeah. A great win for Z10. They beat their, I guess, the rivals coming out of Group C, and they find themselves in a solid position. But Bait aren't out of the running just yet. They moved down to the lower bracket. This was the upper bracket of that high seed, and we will get another chance to see them on the server. It's just about whether or not they can recover from a devastating loss.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get some revenge, get some redemption, you know, start that arc through the lower bracket, and they're going to have to because, yeah, as you mentioned, they just weren't shooting as we expected today, so at least they have that second opportunity. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be that from myself and me. It has been a pleasure to bring you the action and bring you the upset. It's always great to cover an upset as well as, you know, cover a lovely bit of T2 European CS. So thank you all very much for watching. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you in the next one.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, face it.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.